Good evening, everyone. I pray that you all had a blessed and amazing day on today. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you all for tuning in and being with us on tonight for our River Live as we get ready to go into tonight's teaching. Now, tonight's teaching, we're going to do a real quick, we're going to go back to and finish off prayerfully what we started off on Sunday from Ruth chapter 3. This is still the blueprint, part 2, and we'll still be coming from Ruth chapter 3. So I will go ahead and, as we get ready to get started on tonight, I just ask each and every one of you, just not have selective hearing, but open up your heart, your mind, allow the word of God, the word of life to speak to you. Find yourself in God's word so that way, and mix your faith with God's word so that way he can get you in position so that way you can know your purpose, know who he is, and also know what it is that he so desired for you to do in your life. Okay, everybody, let's go right on into tonight's teaching. This is Ruth. This is the blueprint. We're coming from Ruth chapter 3, and I'm going to begin reading, and let's do it. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, shall I not seek security for you, that it may be well with you? Now Boaz, whose young women you were with, is he not our relative? In fact, he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. Therefore, wash yourself and anoint yourself, put on your best garment, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. Then it shall be when he lies down that you shall notice the place where he lies, and you shall go in, uncover his feet, and lie down. And he will tell you what you should do." And she said to her, "All that you say to me, I will do." So she went down to the threshing floor and did according to all that her mother-in-law instructed her. And after Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was cheerful, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain, and she came softly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. Now it happened at midnight that the man was startled and turned himself, and there a woman was lying at his feet. Okay, everybody, let's stop right there and let's go right on into what I believe the Lord allowed me to share with you all on tonight by his grace, his mercy. Okay, so let's look into this. I'm going to pull one from what we talked about on Sunday. In my notes I have, just look at the obstacles Ruth faced, all of the loss, all of the hardship, all of the pain that she had to encounter or go through. But notice that Ruth did not quit. Instead of her, and since Ruth did not quit, Ruth continued to move forward towards God. She didn't go back, but Ruth continued to keep moving forward in spite of the loss, in spite of the hurt, in spite of the pain, in spite of all the obstacles or the delays or the disappointments that Ruth had encountered. She didn't run away from God, but in turn, she ran towards him. And see, for whoever I'm talking to tonight, many of you keep on going forward in your forward motion towards him. So let's look at another point. So, because for many of you right now, remember Ruth, when her back was against the wall, Ruth still kept moving forward. Ruth went through all of this because she was about to bring change to an environment. And not only was Ruth about to bring change to this environment, but Ruth went through all of that because the Lord was about to use her to bring change to the environment, change to that culture, change to another people. Ruth was to be that blueprint that was about to be funneled change in to the life of others who didn't even know that Ruth was about to be that one that God was about to use. And see, for somebody on tonight, I know many of you right now, some of you right now, I can only imagine that for somebody on tonight, under the sound of my voice, many of you right now, you probably been feeling like you was going through, and you've probably been going through a lot of heartache, a lot of disappointments, even some letdowns. And some of you probably was even just questioning yourself, trying to figure out why you, what's happening, what's going on right now. Well, let me share with you again what happened to Ruth, because Ruth kept going. And see, watch this. When you go to Ruth chapter 1, round now, let me see, what is that? Ruth chapter 1, let's look at verse 12. See, Naomi, her mother-in-law, was telling Ruth to turn back and go back to her mother and her father's house. But I need somebody to understand on tonight that you have to keep going if you're going to see the final outcome for whatever it is that the Lord has for you. So let's go a little deeper in that. Ruth then turned back because I really believe that Ruth knew her season. And see, for some of you right now, you're going to have to know what season you're in, because when you really truly find out and know what season you're in, see, nobody's going to be able to turn you around. Nobody's going to be able to change your mind, because you're going to say, look, I already had enough of being here. I'm tired of going through this. I'm tired of feeling like I'm stuck. I'm tired of feeling stagnant. I'm tired of feeling that humdrum life. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to see a miracle. I'm ready to see a change take place in my life. I'm ready to see this personally. And see, when many of you, when you begin to start taking that thing personally, now that means you're not going to let no person, place, or thing stop you from moving forward into what's going to make you become that better, or it'll start living into that new version of yourself. Because see, you tired of the old version. As we talked about on Sunday, many of you are trying to move into a new level or a new arena with an old version of yourself. And see, the old version can't handle that new season. And see, that's just like how the scripture says, you can't pour new wine in an old wineskin. It's because that old wineskin, that new wine is too potent, and that old wineskin cannot handle it. So it's going to cause it to burst. So see, that's why you can only put new wine in a new wineskin. See, the new go together, a new season, also a new version of yourself. See, many of y'all, you be trying to go into these new seasons with that same old version, and it's not going to work. And see, nobody told you that it wasn't working. See, some people would just let you go off and just won't tell you anything. But see, you have to understand that, see, the Lord leaves it up to you and I, through the situations, through circumstances, and also through events, for us to see and know him. What is he looking for? He's looking for, hey, you got my word. Get him my word to find out how I think. Get him my word to find out how I look at things. Get him my word to find out what I'm asking for, or what I am inquiring or requiring from you, through your behavior, through your actions, through your talk, through your speech. And see, if you don't do that, then how are you going to know what's up or how God is looking at things? So see, every time you see somebody else coming to their season, now you saying, what's wrong with me? Or why seem like everybody else getting a new season, but my season hasn't come? It's because the Lord is saying you haven't did the necessary work, or you didn't allow the changes to take place in you so you could get that upgrade, so that way you can finally step into your new version. Because see, many of you right now, there's so much great things that God has in store for you. And see, but he needs you and I to understand that, look, we have to know our season, just like Ruth. Even though Ruth went through the hardship, the loss, the pain, the disappointment, Ruth kept moving forward. Ruth knew her time and the season, and she knew that she was just tired of being stuck in that place called Moab. She knew what was going on there, but Ruth knew that, look, she was not going to go to that next level or reach that next version of her life staying there. So she knew that she had to make a change. And see, every time Naomi was telling her to turn back, to go back, Ruth knew right there, this is my opportunity. This is my season. This is my time. I can't let Naomi leave me here, because if Naomi leave me here, then everything that I have is here. But I know there's something better for me on the other side where Naomi is going. Somebody right now, don't hold yourself up from moving or going to that next place where your better version is at. Because see, and some of you, that could be physically having to move or leave XYZ, or some of you, that leave could be mentally. And see, mentally, many of you, you're going to have to be able to push past some of those old thoughts, those old ways of how you was doing things, the way how you was handling certain things, even the way how you had things structured, how you wanted to see things go. And see, when you do that, now watch me. Now see, now you putting God in a box, so that way he's trying to bring you out the box and put you in a larger place. But see, you got things so detailed and so structured, where you got the control. God said, no, either you gonna have control or I'm gonna have control. See, he needs you and I to trust him, even though we feel like we're in a place And we don't see all the answers. We don't see all the details. We don't have all the answers, what we feel we want to know. And yes, we human beings, and yes, we want answers because we want to be able to feel like, okay, we have some type of control. But anytime you're dealing with the Lord, he's got to keep that separation. He's God. We are the humans. And see, he has to allow us to stay in faith. So watch this. Let's keep going. So you have to be able to know whoever I'm talking to on tonight. You're going to have to be able to know your season. And now as you continue to learn and watch this, and we see this through Ruth, she's going forward. And because she's going forward, watch this. Don't be surprised as many of you, as you continue to keep moving forward, just like Naomi tried to tell Ruth to turn back, as you're moving forward, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether you're about to get that promotion, whether you're moving a different state, XYZ, whatever, you're about to get something great or good, don't be surprised if somebody try to in turn act like or be in the position of like a Naomi to try to tell you, no, that's not for you. I wouldn't do that if I was you, or try to cause you or tell you to turn back because they don't want you to go there to your blessed place. Many of y'all, you're going to have to look at this and see yourself in God's word. So that way, when you going through and when you see things, so when those variables start coming out at you and you start feeling the wind blow, you start feeling those hits. Now you can understand and find yourself in God's word, and you can say, okay, this right here, this supposed to happen. It's because, watch this, before Ruth got to her blessed place, Naomi, her mother-in-law, the closest one to her, and notice it was the closest one to her, was telling her to go back and stay there in that place when her blessing was over there with her in Bethlehem. Somebody on tonight, you're going to have to be willing and able and ready to push past anything that will try to stop you or cause you to stay in any place, whether it's physically or mentally, so that way you can't reach your full potential. Because see, many of y'all, you going somewhere, and see, whatever the Lord is ready to pull and do through you, he needs you to be able to move at a drop of a dime and get ready to step into whatever it is that he needs for you to do. So we understand that it was Naomi. She the one who tried to make Ruth turn back and stay in the place she was about to be, or that she was delivered from. And see, for some of y'all, see, Ruth was already married to her son, to Naomi's son. So now that means, hey, Ruth in her mind, hey, wherever Naomi going, I'm going. I can't stay here. 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 We got to move. We got to keep pressing forward. And see, that's the mindset that Ruth had. She knew, I already put in my work. I can't stay here. So everything Ruth lost, everything that she went through in Moab, it prepared her for the blessing in Bethlehem. Somebody, you got to see this. Everything that you encountered in your past season, the last season, it only prepared you for this next new up and coming season. Because see, now this next season, now it means that it's going to be larger. There's going to be more responsibility. There's going to be greater things that you're going to have to do. And also there could very well be more blessings and more things that you will receive. But see, watch this. You're still going to have to be a good steward over the good things that you are about to encounter and receive. So here we go. So telling Ruth to turn back, that came from someone close to her. I'm going to say it again. I had to write it twice. That could even be people who can be close to you. You're going to see, hey, when the Lord already placed it in your heart, your spirit, your mind, and because you was moving by faith, watch this, you're going to have to be able to push out. Please hear me. I understand that, yes, there's wisdom, there's safety in counsel, but there will be some times that the Lord is going to need many of you all to move. And when you move, he's going to need you to move by believing in him and whatever it is that he's instructing for you to do. And see, he's going to bring that season to you. See, nobody had to go through what you had to go through. Nobody experienced the heartache, the pain, the disappointment like you experienced. So he's looking for you to know him, number one, but then also to trust him, number two, and then continue to believe when he say, okay, it's time. And see, that's for many of you. You're going to have to see him like that, as not only as a savior, but also as a healer and also as a deliverer, as well as a provider and a protector. So when we go to verse 8, so I'll say this, anybody Is anybody, now let's go back to Ruth chapter 3. And when we look at Ruth chapter 3, I need somebody to get this on tonight, because for somebody, as you're moving up, as you're climbing up, and as God is preparing to level many of you all up, see, many of you, you're in a position right now. And see, for some of y'all was feeling some hits. And see, for those hits that many of you all was feeling, please, can I tell you, can I really be honest with you? Those were only the tests. And see, those were the tests. And see, when you take a test, watch me. Come on. For many of you all, those of you are viewing by way of online. And for those of you who are here, watch this. I need you to get this, because clearly when you taking a test, you're not just getting a practice test. No, God actually he placed you actually in the real test. Just like when you was in school, before you could graduate and go to that next grade or that next level, you had to take the actual test. And that test covered everything that you encountered for the whole year. And so you had to be able to pass that, so that way you could get enough credit for those of you. You got to have those credits, so that way you can get promoted to that next level or that next grade. And see, that's the same thing how the Lord is doing. I got to give you this test to see how well you manage, how well you do in this environment. I know you ain't never been here before. I know you never encountered this. I know you never did this kind of work before. I know you never did what you're doing. I know you're not used to standing in front of people talking. I know you're not used to telling people what to do. I know you're not used to being the boss. I know you're not used to being that CEO. I know these things, but I had to put you through the real test just to see how you was going to handle it. And see, for many of you on tonight, you're only in a test. And see, you got to be able to pass here in order for you to get there to where the Lord clearly want to bring you to. See, that's where many of you are at right now. Clearly, that's where you're at. So before I even go any further, let's go back here. I'm going right back to Ruth chapter 2. And see, when we look back at this, and I'm going to I believe it's verse 12. And see, let's look at something. Because see, everything that many of you are going through right now, please look. Many of you done suffered. You took hits. You had loss. You had some hardships. You experienced the hurt and also pain. And see, Ruth experienced that same identical thing as well. And see, yours might not be in the same areas as hers, but you still felt the same emotions and the same hurt and pain and loss in different areas. So watch this. Look at this. The Lord did not forget about Ruth. And because he didn't forget about Ruth, watch and see, here we go again. Look at this. Ruth didn't tell Ruth this. This was Boaz who was about to tell Ruth this in Ruth chapter 2, verse 12. So watch what Boaz tell her in verse 12. The Lord repay your work, and a full reward be given to you by the Lord, the God of Israel, whose wings you have come to for refuge. Look, Boaz is saying, may the Lord fully give you a full reward for everything, Ruth, that you went through. See, many of you all right now, y'all been going through some things. Y'all was going through the hardships. Y'all was going through the lack. Y'all was going through even being with the dysfunctions, even things with relationships. Y'all was going through things personal, even with yourself, even health-wise. I mean, many of you all was going through, whatever you could think of, many of you was going through it. But watch this. The Lord needed you, or he allowed you to experience that and go through it. Watch this, because he knew when you get to the other side of this, when you pass this test and get to the next level, watch this. He already got something ready for you. And what do he got ready for many of you who stayed in there, and watch this, who continue to do the work? Look what Boaz said, a full reward because you continue to do the work. Ruth still continued to do the work, even though emotionally she probably may not have felt like it. Physically, she may not have felt like it. Spiritually, Ruth may have felt like she didn't feel like it, but Ruth continued to do the work. How many of y'all right now are going to be honest with me on tonight? And somebody just say that some days you get up, some days you don't feel like doing the work. Some days emotionally you don't feel like it. Even some days spiritually you don't feel like, come on somebody. See, the Lord already knew you was going to feel that way. Because see, he looked at it and he saw it even in Ruth. And see, when he saw it in the life of Ruth, watch this. But Ruth still had enough on the inside of her that Ruth continued to do the work. And because Ruth continued to do the work, now the Lord said, okay, girl, if you get over here, see, you keep going, keep doing the work. After all this that you done lost, all this that you done had to encounter, all of the heartache, the hurt, the pain, the shame, the disappointment, everything that you had to go through over here in Moab, and now you having to come over here and still do the work. Ruth, you keep right on going, and watch this. I'm about to give you a full reward for everything that you had to do and go through. Somebody, the reason why your tests have been, it seemed like it amped up and it seemed like it was much harder than your last test. It's because now you're coming to the close of this test. And see, right now, many of you, it amped up because now you're about to step into your new season. Because many of you kept doing the work. And now you're about to receive a full reward for whatever it is. Whatever it is that the Lord had put you through or allowed you to go through, he needed you to go through it because he knew that you was going to need it for this next season. See, this was preparation for you, but then also it was getting you ready so that way you can handle and know how to operate and also know how to handle and be a good steward over this new season that you're coming into. Many of you right now, it's not a loss. Because see, Ruth may have lost and went through the hurt and pain over there in Moab. But see, now when the Lord is about, he opened up a door. And see, Naomi was trying to shut that door, but telling her to turn back and go back because Naomi couldn't see it. That's why don't let nobody talk you out of you making your next step or your next faith move. Whatever it is that God got for you to do, please step out on faith for him and do whatever it is that the Lord got need for you to do, because that's going to be for you and him. And for whatever it is, whoever it is that's connected to you, keep pressing forward, even though others may not understand it. It's okay. But see, long as you and God understand it. See, you can't be out here trying to please everybody because you're not going to be able to please everybody. So now your thing is you got to make yourself happy. And see, long as you know that you at peace and God is at peace with you, now you keep going. Everybody else going to have to take second. They're going to have to fall back. They're going to have to get in line. But long as God is happy first and you happy, then you go and you keep doing it. Some of y'all don't get worried or get bogged down with trying to wonder what people going to say about you, what people going to think. Because they're going to talk good about you. Even though you're doing good, they're going to still feel and say whatever they're going to want to say. But you're going to have to keep going, even though you already know that it's between you and the Lord. And see, watch this. When you get there, he already got a full reward waiting for you. See, everything that you had to encounter and go through, God already saw what Naomi and what Ruth had to go through. He saw the loss they experienced. He went through it. He seen it. But he did. So he already knew when they get back home, when they get over here. See, he already had the place. And see, somebody on tonight, I need you to get this one. Somebody, whoever I'm talking to, he already had provisions and everything prepared and ready for whoever I'm talking to. Some of y'all, you probably saying, well, how we going to do this? How we going to do that? X, Y, Z, this and that. God already got everything prepared and ready. Let me give you a few more before we close on tonight. So for whoever I'm talking to on tonight, I need you to get this. Who in here? Online, in this building, who carrying faith in God? And see, if you know that you're carrying the faith that God gave you, that's going to be that blueprint that have power to change things. And also that's that same power that also can change environments. See, that's why for some of you all right now, you're those change agents. And see, you're dropped in environments and in other cultures. And see, right now, for many of you, God strategically got you there because he's bringing about a change. And see, he already got to have things prepared and ready because see, when that change, when it happens, it's going to happen through you. But then also he's going to either cause the environment to shift. Because see, let's look at Ruth before Ruth got there to Bethlehem. The environment was in a famine before Ruth got there. But when Ruth got there, the environment already changed. So the Lord already got the environment prepared and ready for Ruth when Ruth get there. All she going to have to do is just pick up and continue to keep working, receive the favor, and also walk in the abundance and into the blessings. See, many of y'all, you got to see this. See, the Lord is ready to shift some things. He's already doing it. He's got to make sure he has his people prepared and ready to go into this next season. So Ruth told Boaz, I'm not like the other maidservants, but I am yours. Watch this. Ruth was telling Boaz, look, Boaz, I'm not like yours. I'm not like all the other women. You can find this in chapter 2 of Ruth. She's letting him know, I'm not like your other average maidservants, but I'm yours to command. Whoever I'm talking to, you got to know who you belong to. And not be ashamed to let it be known who you belong to. Ruth already said, hey, I'm not like your other maidservants, but I'm yours. Lord, I don't look and do everything like everybody else, but Lord, I'm yours. Lord, I'm doing what you called me to do. Ooh, there's one thing I better get over to you all before these last couple of minutes what we got on tonight. Ruth carried the seed of transformation and also the seed of greatness. Who believe that they have greatness on the inside of them on tonight? Somebody, you got to believe that it's that greatness is already there. It's within you. And see, being that it's already there, watch this. Now, here we go. I love that commercial. It says, I believe it's that Geico commercial. And look, when Pinocchio was looking at the people, it's like, hey, and I'm scanning a room, and there's a room full of untapped potential. And see, but it was actually the truth, because everybody got potential. But now the thing is, what is your potential in? You just got to be placed in the right dirt, in the right vein, in the right area, so that way you could thrive. And see, many of you, that's what many of you are at right now. You need to be in that right position, so that way you're not just showing up, or you're not just there working. No, you got to be able to thrive. And see, that's what many of you see. That's what winners do. You drop winners in any place or anything. Winners are people who have a mindset like a Ruth. Ruth was dropped in Bethlehem, but see, Ruth was the only one who was not from there. So you dropped, she's around everybody else. But watch this. Ruth not only was she blessed, but Ruth thrive in that area. And see, somebody on tonight, because you got to be willing to thrive in whatever area or whatever sphere that you're in right now, so that way your blessing is there. See, that was only part of the test. And see, now it was only part of the Lord getting you to where he needs you to be. So Ruth was chosen by God, not for her present state, but she was chosen by God for what she was going to become later in Bethlehem. See, he already saw Ruth in Moab, so he saw all of that over there with her and Naomi. But he saw past Ruth and Moab. God already looked. Now I see her over here, but then I'm also seeing her there. See, he wasn't just looking at her in Moab. Some of y'all, look, the Lord already saw y'all 5 or 10 years ago, even 30 years ago. He saw when you was over there in those areas, living that lifestyle that you used to live, doing these things, saying these things, X, Y, Z. He already saw you, but then the Lord had to look past, and he still saw life in you over here 20, 30 years now later in the future. So see, some of y'all, just like Ruth, the Lord ain't just looking at your present. He's looking at what you're going to become. Many of y'all right now, y'all got so much skill, gift, and talent. Let me give y'all this real quick, because we got seconds to go. Some of y'all even had to, just like for Ruth, some of y'all had to leave other states y'all had to leave other states from one state to go to another state, just like Ruth had to leave Moab to go to Bethlehem. Some of y'all had to leave from where you grew up at to go now to a place where you was like the stranger there. You don't even know nobody. You probably didn't even have no family there, but you had to move. You had to go. Why did the Lord uproot many of you all to take you from one place to shift you to another place? It's because he see that there's something else that he want to do through you. And he know that what he got for you is going to be in a different place. And that other place is going to have other and better opportunities for you. And as we close on tonight, I don't have enough time to go deeper into this, but let me throw this last one out to you and then we're going. Naomi knew Ruth more in Moab, which was Ruth being in potential form. She later saw the full depth of Ruth in Bethlehem. Here's what I mean. And then we close it. Naomi only saw the beginning portion of Ruth's potential when they was in Moab. She didn't see the full development of all that Ruth had to give within her potential until Ruth got to her the right place, which was Bethlehem. See, many of you right now, you got potential. But see, within your potential now, some of y'all, some people only seeing you in potential in your potential seed form. Because you're not all the way out there yet. And many of you all, you just got to keep going, keep pressing forward. Because many of you all, some of y'all, you trying to push through the dirt. But some of y'all, you trying to push through the concrete. Some of y'all, you trying to push through so much obstacles. You are just like when you go home, you look at your driveway, even on the side of the highway, you still see grass pushing through asphalt or even concrete. That means that grass is strong enough. There had to be a seed strong enough to push through that hard obstacle. Some of y'all, that's how your life was. Many of you all, you had to push through some tough obstacles and you still came out. All because the Lord was there with you, watching you. Okay, y'all, I better stop on tonight. It's 1 minute after 8. Just now, I love you. God bless you all. I hope that something was said to help bring encouragement to each and every one of you through the book of Ruth. Thank you all for joining myself, my wife, Lady Frazier, from here at the river. And from all of us, our family here, we just thank God bless each and every one of you. To our viewing guests who might be viewing us, God bless you all. Thank you all for tuning in and being with us on tonight. And I hope and pray that the word of life was able to bring life, encouragement, and also strength to you all on tonight, letting you know, many of you, you're coming into your season, or you're going to have to know your season. Because now in the midst of you knowing your season, you're going to have to also know your God. Because when he's ready to shift you and move you, you're going to have to know when to move with him. Not yourself, but move with him. My time is up. Just know we love you. God bless each and every one of you. And I still have a little bit more, so I'm going to have to finish this up on Sunday. So God bless you all. Till we do this again, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have sweet sleep, sweet dreams. Go in God's peace and his prosperity. In Jesus' name, God bless you all. Have a blessed evening.